What's happening, good people? It is your host, Mr. D, 713, better yet Drake with Everythang Culture, and welcome to season 4 of Everythang Culture. Today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, overall, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. We're kicking season 4 off with conversation, okay? I know some of the people who support, listen, and check in on our lives and some other spaces that I share with you all kind of know what this episode is going to be about, how season 4 is going to kick off. And I'm just asking you all to bear with me. You know, I'm coming in with the energy. I'm coming in with prayer. It's been a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. But, you know, this episode is going to be a conversation with my mother.
I know I act a fool. I got you. Yeah. Look what you've done. Look what you. Mama, you know I love you.
There's no way I can pay you back, but the plan is to show you that I understand. You all appreciate it.
And for the people who don't know, the people who may be coming in, listening to us for the first time, once again, thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing. This is going to be, you know, it's going to be an adventure. It's going to be a journey. I kind of looked at this as like, this may be one of the episodes, one of my most difficult episodes. Let me say that. And we're over 100. We're on our 4th season. And I absolutely love the experience that I've had so far with Everythang Culture. And I'm looking forward to the future. Absolutely, I am. But this is something that I find meaningful because I always shared a little bit about myself or ourselves at the beginning of each season. So this is transparency. This is open. I'm going to be doing a little bit of editing, of course, for the sake of our listeners and some of our viewers. Please believe that. But this is going to be like I don't know, it feel like it's a debut. That's the best way. It's a premiere. I know it's a premiere of season 4, but this is going to be a big for me just getting into this in total, opening up with my audience. So, you know, if you're listening to me right now live, I may not be looking at the comments and things because, you know, I'm trying to focus on this. So let me introduce my mother, okay? Marguerite Denise Drake Johnson, or Johnson Drake, however you go by it. We haven't had an opportunity to have an adult conversation ever since I've been an adult. You know, my mother passed when I was 15. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 weeks before I turned 15. Yeah. And it's just one of those things that I see so many people go through it throughout life. And it hit me early. You know, it hit me quite early in life. I'm like, damn. It's like, so, you know, questions with my mother, you know, it's being 15, I'm 35 years old. This make 20 years since 20 years worth of Mother's Day, 20th Mother's Day without my mother. You feel me? And I've seen a lot of my peers not be able to speak to their mom. So, Mom, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with me. First thing I say, I love you. No matter experience in the conversations we had since the last time we spoke to one another, I really want you to know that I love you. And there's no doubt in my mind that you love me. Man, I gotta tell you, I appreciate the people you put in my life. You know, I know that I think you knew you were leaving this earth. Your spirit was leaving the body that you was holding. And I appreciate the things that you did before you left. We had our tough times. We did. I was angry. I was upset. I was hurt. I talked about it on the show. Once again, this is Everythang culture. Mama, I got a podcast. You don't know what a podcast is. Think of it as like a radio show. That thing that you were hearing about the internet has blown up to be something totally different. Man. You feel me? It's different. It's different. But I just had to tell you I love you before we get into it. But I'm your eldest. I'm your oldest. Brandon. I know I look a little different. I know if you were I know you were like me, going bald, the whole thing, the beard. I wonder how you would feel about it. I think you'll love it. I've accomplished quite a bit in life. I graduated from John Tyler. Last time we talked, I was a freshman in high school. I was playing football. I was, going to summer college preparatory classes and things. I was living with Aunt Brenda. And, a lot has happened within 20 years. A lot has happened. I mean, I'm still me. That's the best way I can put it. I've grown. I became bigger. I became smaller and I became bigger. I have made a plethora of friends and built relationships. I still have many of those same relationships that I had when you were here. Life is good. Life is absolutely good. And I just want to say, catch you up, hey, what's going on? What's been happening? I try to give you the quick of it that, I graduated from high school. I received 3 academic scholarships. I went off to one of the scholarships. I went to a junior college. I wanted to go to Southern Mississippi. The reason why, Mama, is because I like the dark-skinned women there. But that was just from one college visit. Being young, thinking with the wrong head. I ended up going to TJC. Graduated my associates in psychology. I went into TJC because I wanted to go in for computer engineering, or really electric engineering. But I got into psychology because I enjoyed it in high school. And then when I was in class in college, one of my courses I needed to take, man, you came about. The conversations that we had, I was thinking about you, the rest of our family. I man, this resonates so well with perhaps me and getting to know my family, getting to know others. So I switched majors and went to psychology. Got my associates from TJC. Oh man, I don't want to. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna finish my education. I'm gonna come back. But I then went off to the University of Houston. Man, culture shock. Leaving Tyler was one of the honest best decisions I made in my life. I wanted to do it either way, but it's nothing to knock on Tyler or hometown, but it was needed. It was needed. When I left, I grew so much. I had, some difficulties initially. That's what I was gonna come back to. Uncle Burl got throat cancer. Brenda had breast cancer. All during my soon as I was leaving, all these things came about, and Uncle Burl and I became extremely close with one another.
and I know he's telling you that with him, he's with you right now, but it was like a wild story. Like as soon as you about to leave or you leaving home, boom, boom, you get hit with, your other caregivers in your life, like that. So that was a difficult time as well, but I had to put my head down and finish. That's all I think about. I had to put my head down and finish. And that's what he told me to do. The main thing he told me to do is find a church home. And I made sure to do that, find me a church home and continue with that. But at U of H, I made some great relationships. Before I left U of H, I made one of the best relationships I can say I made is with my wife, Afton. Oh, you'll love her. Promise you'll love her. She's awesome, gorgeous, caring, stubborn but strict. It's like she's a good balance of what I believe we need for each other in life. And, I bring some of these qualities to that we bring each other to the table and our understanding and our faith. But she always reminded me so much of you in numerous ways. And once again, it feel like you put it there in my life with, the Lord to continue to look over and continue to support me, because it's been some other ones, but we ain't got to worry. We still, it's good friendships, good relationships, but that's something I had when I went to college for TJC and I went off to Houston, and that was something else I was juggling at the time. But I finished college at University of Houston, and I went to the work of social work. I went to be a caseworker, a social worker, working for CPS. I know them people. That's what I'm working for. I was working for them people. I don't know how you would have felt about that, honestly. And I went because the situation I was in that we had to deal with. That's one of the reasons I went in. To be honest, I feel like that's another thing God put me in the work to do. I understand that you were struggling with some things. I did not understand it at that time, and at that time as a child, I didn't care. You know that. We had, but you listened. You listened. I can't get mad at that. You didn't argue it. You didn't make excuses. You owned up that you had an issue. You owned up that you had you were struggling with something. I didn't understand it at that age, but I completely empathize with you and many others that may experience those things. But it comes to the point that I got into that work because I didn't want to see kids go through what I went through. Not even a little bit. And if they went through what I went through, I wanted them to know it's a better life on the other end. And even with the kids, I want to know the mothers, hey, you're needed. Man, Mama, I don't have enough. Like, we're talking, I know you see what I'm doing, but man, when I tell you the amazing things that the Lord has put me in other people's life to do and change and to adjust, I would have never imagined it. And it seems small. It really, to some other people, it may seem very small. But it's. I've had families reach out to me, and I still got mentees and other individuals, and I'm still doing volunteer work that, excuse me, showed me that I'm making that difference. And it may not be it may not be a spotlight, may not be a highlight, but who am I looking? Who support or approval am I looking for on this earth? That's the best way I can look at it. And I can say, I believe it or not, your son got a little cocky. When last time you saw him, well, maybe I was leaning into it, but I was a shy kid. That has changed a whole lot, Mama. I ain't that shy no more. a certain type of confidence came over me, and it's thanks to your sister. That I stepped into myself and had pride in myself and loved myself. Things that you always wanted from me. I remember coming to cry to you because other kids were kind of bad. Now, I am far from that now. You know, I still struggle with some things as from my childhood, but once again, I have to put them things to the side and deal with them, from therapy to prayer to, you know, based on my two things. You know, I may work out, you know, sip a little bit here and there, but it's a lot of progress been made in life over the past 20 years. You know, done had nice houses, cars that you'll probably love, you know, but all those things ain't big to me. You know, dressing well, you know, things that I can just list off that, you know, I know would make you smile. But like I said earlier, life is good. Life is a blessing. What my main thing I stress about life right now is taxes, and and that means something we must be doing something right, and just trying to stress out, trying to make sure other people are okay and well off. But yeah, so I was at CPS for 2 years, and I moved to this organization called Child Advocates, where I was more of a guardian for kids, managing volunteers, serving the best interest of kids in care, making family plans and things for the children. But, you know, I did that for some time. Then I moved into a manager role, and, you know, a lot of people respected my opinion. You know, once again, when I was trying to share and trying to make changes, you know, training people, understanding cultural diversity, understanding that you and I can understand some things. You understand, Mama? You and I can understand, like, man, what it's like to grow up not having food in the pantry at all time, with the lights being cut out, with the water may not be cut off. You have to pick what bill you may have to cover for the month, you know? And I always have to tell people, at the end of the day, that is still a family. It may not be the family that you strive for, the family that you have, but that is still a family, you know? And I had lived experience. That's the best way I put it. I had lived experience, and they didn't know that. They didn't know that. Need to know that. But I trained people that was wealthy, well off, on how to really communicate to these families and to these children to make a change in their life, to advocate for them in courthouses. You know, I got a chapter in my life that I'm looking forward to going into when I'm scared sometimes. I was scared to have this conversation with you, to be honest. This conversation I should have did this. I was talking about doing this for 2 months, and every day, I'm not ready. It's like, I'm ready, but not now. Procrastination consistently. And I wanted to be perfect. And then I wanted to put it out on Mother's Day. You know, I want to put it out the morning of. But if it comes out, it comes out. But at the end of the day, I wanted to have this conversation with you. You know, going to, you know, got married at the age of 25, 26. So about to hit 10 years. Beautiful wedding. We had pictures of you, candles. You were there. You know, your memory was there. You know, still no kids yet. You know, I got to a point in my life I was rushing to have kids, like in my mid to late 20s. I really, really, really wanted to have kids, and you know, I had to get to the point. Just when they come, they come. Just enjoy life. You know. I know you understand that. I know if you was here, you would want them, but there's no rush on that. Once again, life is good. You know, going into my career now. Oh Lord, I'm in Seattle. Man, now that's the crazy thing. I'm in Seattle. Like, I left, not only had a house in Houston. Man, Garrick moved down to Houston. Yeah, that's still my boy to this day. you wasn't able to meet Adrian and many of my other friends and people I've built relationships with, but I had such a strong community in Houston. And, we got an offer that we could have refused, but at that time in life, we wanted to do something different. And we picked up everything within 2 to 3 months. Like from June, we got, it was, contacting in June. By the end of August, we moved to Seattle in August. That's how quick it was. And then, boom, in there. And when I moved up here, I was thinking about you a whole lot. Even if it was 18 years, and I really haven't felt the way I was feeling. Not saying I forgot about you or anything of that nature. It was just to the point where it's hard to explain. It was just to the point where I think since I left my community in Houston, even though I had my wife, I just felt empty. I felt that all the support, all these things I built around to give comfort, is gone. And I went into a pretty deep depression, And it's crazy. You saw that in me when I was a child, me dealing with depression, me being that quiet kid, that kid that was shut down. I'm still that grown man. If something, I can't get through to something, I ain't gonna argue with it. I ain't gonna go back and forth. I'm just go on by my own merry way. It's like shell up and I'll come back out when I'm ready. But I know many people look at me and admire me and want my feedback and response. And they feel like, oh, well, they losing out. And honestly, they just got to deal with it sometime before. That's how I work. Because I'm not perfect. And I hope you understand that, Mama. I am not perfect. But here in Seattle, right when I started working, boom, something called a pandemic hit. And, woo. That pandemic, honestly, the pandemic wasn't bad for me personally. In my maturity, me leaving Houston was worse than a pandemic for me. Me leaving Texas was worse than a pandemic for me. But that's how it felt to me. So when the pandemic hit, which shut down the world, I was kind of like, Well, I was going through this already for the past 6 months. I feel like the Lord prepped me for it. But I still empathize with the things I saw my friends and confidants and associates go through. Man. And it once again, I kept thinking about you too. I saw a lot of my friends, co-workers, podcast friends, people I met through this thing we call the internet I've never met before. I saw them lose a lot of loved ones. I saw them lose their mothers, their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their brother, their children. Man. And I was just like, wow. And, not only that, they couldn't even really visit them because, my last time visiting you was not in the hospital. My last time visiting you was not in, I expected. I was in Disney World when you passed, man. One of the happiest places in the world. And it really should. I really understood what people could be in a good space and just lose someone they love. I empathize with them. And what do you tell them? Because look what I'm 20 years later, look at me. Not saying, once again, life is good. I'm in a good place. But I try to tell them things will get better. Things will be good, but things will never be the same. That's just the truth of it. And with you passing, things changed. Things changed. I looked at life a whole lot different. And a lot of people will say, duh, but I learned to not take things for granted, and that's the truth. Once again, it came to the point that I still keep voicemails about my aunts, your sisters, my close family members, if they leave a voicemail, I'm saving it in my phone. Because when I came up here to Seattle, once again, going through that part, I couldn't remember your voice for a bit. You know, I couldn't remember what you sounded like. And I appreciate family helping me, trying to send me some things and pictures and that to get me through that, you know. Some of your friends, and if any of your friends are listening to this right here, never be afraid to send me something with my mom. Because, you know, people don't understand, you know, it's one of the things that it would make a difference. I may not show this all the time. I may not act on it. I may not cry about it or speak out. Because, you know, being strong and, you know, life goes, stuff, things happen, you know. But it's just to that fact, it helps out. So me feeling that way, I make sure if I have pictures of my friends, mothers, brothers, anything that people that you no longer have, even if we haven't talked in years, I'm still gonna send it to them. Because once again, what the experience I have. And since you left, you know, you had some additions with you up there in heaven, you know, from, you know, Uncle Burl, Aunt Winnie, you know, Aunt Gwen. You got 3 of your siblings with you. You got Pat, you know, you got one of your nephews. Oh man, Pinky. Pinky was like, man. Once again, just a good person in your life, in our lives, that I appreciate. You got, you know, no telling many of your friends that you know, down on Lois that joined you. Oh man. But this is something that, you know, I look at with family, like, but we've had a lot of additions as well to the family. Like, you know, if I go down the line, Uncle Rod and I are extremely close. He's been on the show. He's been a guest. Your sister's been a guest. Aunt Dee Aunt Brenda. You know, I wish I could have got Aunt Gwen, you know, to hear these stories and experiences and, you know, about life, about us. You know, I've been trying to interview all of our family members to get to know each other, you know. Because I go and talk to all these different people about their childhood and upbringing, their background, and I got to talk about mine too. You know, I got to bring my family on. I don't care if it's broadcasted or not, but this is a virtual, you know, family tree that look like it. You know, that's what it feels like. Because once again, I don't want people to be forgotten. I wish I could have like this. Wish I could have you. Wish I could actually hear your responses and ask you how did you feel about your childhood, and ask you how did you feel about your upbringing, and ask you was your. I know you love catfish or fish in total. I know your favorite color is red. I know you love Prince and Luther Vandross. I know you love music. I know you were my gaming. You know, I still be on that video game. You know, still that's still me. I know you that was part of you too. You know, but you know, learning family is important to me. You know, the truth of the family, and I'm finding new things out every day, every time. You know that's us. You know, Brenda and I are close. I talk to Brenda or Aunt Dee every day. You know, they're the closest things that I got to you. I got a mother-in-law. My in-laws are awesome. You will love them. And my mother-in-law will remind you of probably Aunt Pinky and Mrs. Jackson. And we go talk. But she's awesome. My father-in-law, he's a character. He's a number, but he loves me. Stepped in, and since day one, it's been love. It's a father figure, respectful man, and I got I call him my sister and brother. It don't even feel like we in-laws. It just feel like we damn near grew up together. I got a sister-in-law, brother-in-law, do exceptionally well. Everyone's happy. Some nieces on their side. I got some nieces on our side. Justin got some kids. And before we go in, we go down and long. I know one thing in your life and your wishes with me and him to have a better relationship, or a relationship. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. And not pointing the blame either way. It's just, one day, and they're gonna take the Lord to do that, and He can do mighty things. Sorry for breathing in the mic, y'all. My apologies. Going into Undidi, Aaron is doing well. I pray for him more than anybody else in his family. A lot of things you struggle with, he struggles with. And him and I have a lot of close conversations. His relationship, his and our relationship is kind of like the relationship you and Uncle Rod had, to my understanding, But I would never push him to the side. Uncle Rod, Ebony, and Natalie are. Oh, I love them so much. I would say we talk every now and then, but man, I'm so proud of them. They're both teaching. Ebony's, I think they both teach at the same school too. Natalie has 3 kids. A girl that's in high school and 2 younger boys. I think the boys look just like Uncle Rod. It's crazy. You'll love them. Uncle Rod look more like Grandpa every time I see him. Pat leaving us was that was a lot when Pat left. Pat was supposed to play at my wedding. He was supposed to play the saxophone at my wedding. He ended up getting sick in Houston. Oh my God, that's much better. He ended up passing. And he's like the whole family, the whole kingdom that he created, it just, it just completely changed. Teddy, I think hopefully he's doing well, but he got some struggles himself. Daryl and I keep in touch like annually, but he's doing well. I think Teddy has 2 kids, if I'm not mistaken. 2 beautiful children. Going into Mark and Carlos, man. Mark and Carlos is like, Mark and him and I still talk, even though we ain't even able to touch each other in a few years and have that relationship. But he take a little vacation. But when I tell you, I love when you left, he stepped up and love to do what family members supposed to do. And I'm trying to return that as much as possible. I think you were here when he had. I think he was here when he had both his kids. So both Terry and Chanel are both grown. I had Chanel in my house for a bit, trying to give her some respite, I would say, and be at home. But that didn't work out too well. We ain't got to talk about that right now. But I still pray for them. I'm still proud of what they're doing and love them. Carlos, you wasn't here when Carlos had his kids. Well, no, you were here. You was here with Trenton. Yes. So Carlos had 2 more boys. So we got Trenton. Trenton been a guest on the show. Trenton was actually the first family member to join us here. And I love Trenton for that. I appreciate it. Such a great conversation. I would love for you to be able to listen and give me feedback on that. he has another son by the name of his name is Promise, but we call him Buddy. Buddy's my guy. I mean, I love Buddy, love Buddy, love Buddy. He reminds me of myself when I was a kid, and he still has that true, genuine, like transparent love for family that I shared with him, and I appreciate. Then we got Carlos Jr. Man, that boy there he is Carlos reincarnated almost, except not all the wild stuff Carlos used to do. But he has such a great young spirit, good kid. With Carlos Jr. He's in high school, so Carlos Jr. No, I'm gonna get to the rest of the but Carlos Jr. I'm trying to cover all the family. We go to Brenda's kids, where I call my siblings, my cousins, Tanya, Anki, and Shanae are doing well. All still in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Shanae got a bachelor's and master's. Tanya is still, working hard. Anki working hard, just being the life of the party, humor. Man, when I tell you they love me like a little brother, that is no understatement. It's absolute love. Absolute love. They all have kids. I think they're all grandparents now. Destiny got a little Mike. She just got married recently. That was the last time I was in Texas. Little Mike is, man, that's my guy. Smart. You'll love little Mike. He just want to be the flashiest thing out sometime, but he got that cool demeanor. He's smart, very quick-witted young man. We got with Shanae. Shanae had Shayla, and she threw another one in on her. She had Braylon, and Shayla. She reminds me so much of you. Y'all look so much alike. It scares me. And even Shayla, she's been a guest on the show as well. Did I talk about London? I come back to London, but with Braylon, man, I wish Uncle Burr was here to talk to him. Man, he's smart. Sometimes too smart for his own good sometimes, but just really working out here, figuring out this world for himself. And with Braylon, Buddy, Mike, and Junior, we call him Junior, but I used to have them come down to Houston, just like I used to go up to Fort Worth and spend time with family and, sneak away. I should do that with them either every summer or every spring break. And I loved it. I try to teach those kids, those young men, something important for them, something they can hold on to. And the door's still open for them. But I just know life is going to hit them sooner or later. And I just want them to hold on to something. I just want them boys to hold on to something that they can. And when I say hold on, it's just something they've been taught, some life lessons for them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But Shayla has one kiddo, Brooklyn. Oh man, Brooklyn is something else. She's a sweetheart. Shayla is such a smart young woman. I'd be wanting to just grab her butter and get together. Only cuss word. I'm gonna have to blank that out. Only was that 38 minutes in. Because I see so much. Yeah, and you used to say the same thing. See so much just when she was a little girl. When she was a little girl. And grown, and she be into little stuff here and there, but I just want the best one. Then London. I don't know if you was able to. Yeah, you was able to see London. London is got 2 kids of her own. Beautiful. They sweet. They used to cry all the time. I think London was a little crier too when she was younger, but just everybody's accomplishing, figuring out life, and I love seeing that for my cousins, my kinfolk. Dante's doing great, man. He used to hang with me all the time while I was in college. I used to bring him down and kick it with him. He's working now. He's a working man, so that's how things go in life. Things get busy and other things come your way. Man, Aaron has a daughter, Jasmine, look just like him. but pretty. That's why I said, let's say that. Let's say that. I was like, that little girl can be a model. She's 19, about to be 20 soon. 20 next year. Well, she just turned 19. Smart. She was on the West Coast with me. She go back and forth. My cousins, they going through that time right now where they they don't pick up the phone to call all the time. Sister Beasley used to tell me y'all used to do that. Yeah, and I know you remember Sister Beasley. She's passed along too. Um, and that's something else. Before I get back to the rest of it, I want to say once again, I already said thank you. I'm gonna say thank you again. You got you got your orders in affair before you left this earth, and that meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me. But that meant, I mean, everybody that may have said you owed them money told me you paid them back. Anybody that you may have hurt, they called and say you just apologized to them. Months in advance. That's what I say. You may have knew you was gonna go out. You didn't tell me. I didn't know. But that meant a lot. That told me a lot about integrity. Told me a lot about the relationship with Christ. And the Holy Spirit that moves within us. It's like to do that, it took to do the right thing. It shouldn't be that hard. And it'll show me it never be too late. Never can be too late. So once again, thank you for that. Thank you. Um, I know I'm missing some family members. Daisha coming back around. Daisha has three. I want to say three, maybe four kids. All of them gorgeous. Um, man, hope I'm touching on boom, boom, boom. Even with Facebook, once again, Facebook is this application. It's just, and the application is like this software where we can keep in touch with each other online through the internet, through this world wide web, the www. And we keep in touch a lot more through that. It don't have as many family reunions and things, but basically you get to know everybody's business and everybody put their business on there. You ain't even gotta go snooping for it that hard. It'll be blam right in your face. But yeah, people are striving, people are doing well. And I'm happy to see my folks coming across. I'm not even mad. I just if you want to do better, I'm just happy that they're doing well. Let me see if I'm like I went through Whitney, Gwen, Brenda, Didi. Yeah, that's touch on. But I kind of touched on it a little bit. We'll touch on it now. But it's something really, 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 really wanted to do is wanted to talk to you is man, last year was different. Last year was different. Once again, the pandemic was something else. And I lost a lot of my father figures that I had in my life. If it wasn't to COVID, it was somewhere alongside COVID, you know? It was just crazy. But everything culture was something started by myself, Garrick, G Jack, people may call him from this. And man, good times in Houston, like just trying to make that change. And one of the biggest supporters we had was Mrs. Jackson. When I tell you, like, I know I compare like my mother-in-law to her, um, because once again, you don't come across that many good people. And everything I'm telling you, I know you already know that because you used to tell me when I was a little boy. You kept me and my brother in good company, and I know even when you was going battling what you was battling with, Miss Jackson stepped up in so many ways. So I know when it comes to last year, once again, her spirit left this earth as well, and that I knew because when things like this happen, like with many of my other friends, even in family, I usually know what to say, what to put up, but they would like losing another you. And but at the end of the day, I am thankful for having people like her, individual souls and good minded that put me closer not only to God but to the betterment and try to be kinder, try to be wiser, try to be forgiving. And knowing my boy, Garrick is, man, you'll be proud of him. Man, got I had to count a little bit. What kid? Yeah, four now, all boys. Oh, let me count one more time. Oh, is it three? It's sad if I'm losing count. Hold on. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, three. Yeah, three. Beautiful wife, working construction, is doing exceptionally well. Handling business, but man, having your best friend and with such a great mother that he has and great father, and just like that's a life adjustment. Like, what do you tell your best friend when that happen? And at the same time, it's like, man, I'm hurt too, but I'm here for you. We're here for each other. And when I say I'm doing this, I'm like, man, have these conversations, pray, therapy, counseling. It ain't gonna ever be the same, man. And when I tell you she was one of the, like, with everything culture, one of the biggest supporters. She like it, she love it, she's sharing, she give it that, she's talking. That meant a lot, especially starting out when you're where it's like I don't get that support from a lot. I get more support from strangers than I get from some people that you want that support from. That's the best way to put it. But she was one of those people that no matter what I did, she supported. When I went into my career and job, she supported. When I got married, she supported. Graduated from college, high school, both times from college, she supported. You know, and I my main thing, I do what I do because of you, your sisters, and directly, your friends. You know, Yvonne Jackson, man. I'm trying to put something together that just commemorate her and y'all, and because everybody, this is Mother's Day. Everybody may not have their mother with them, but for 15 years of my life, I had you, and it was shaky. It was a lot of shaky. We had our laughter, we had our good times, we had our bad, But it's been 20 years with me, with on this earth without you. I've been living longer without you than I had you. That's just something I have to come to grips with. But hey, the things that you taught me, I still remember that conversation you and Uncle Bro gave me in the fifth grade. I still remember the conversations we had under the trees, under the pecan tree. I still remember driving to school. I remember telling me, about the birds and the bees at a very young age. Remember you. I love watching horror movies because of you. I love the way I love 80s music and 70s music because of you. You know, a lot of these behaviors, and I can sit back and listen and just peep game because of you too. So once again, I love you. I would say I wish you could be. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be greedy. Can you get in a better place? But I would be lying if I wish I could just have a little tap in with you every now and then, tap in and check in with you. you know, I wish I could have that connection. I wish we had more pictures together. I wish you could compliment me and congratulate me. I wish you could tell me when I'm wrong. I wish you could be upset at me about something or warn me or tell me that I can give you advice and I can uplift you. I wish we could, everybody tell me everybody business. I wish I could have those conversations with you. I know you'll love it. So days like this, Mother's Day, sometimes I avoid it. Some days I don't. Some years I don't. I mean, but it's hard every year. You know, it fluctuates. Some days, I can root on everybody having that. But it's always like, man, if only. And I give once again, no matter the experience we had, I give you my love and I give you my forgiveness because you was just doing the best you could do. But I know one thing for sure that you love me. Once again, the work that I've done and the people I've spoken to and the people I try to reach, I've seen people that don't love their kids, man. Unfortunately, because they may not have love themselves. I still don't blame them. But I've seen people hurt their children, hurt the people around them, build poor bridges and relationships. But I cannot say that you did that. I can actually say that you loved us. And I love you and I'm thankful for that. Truly am. And once again, this is me just speaking. I had nothing written out for this. No plan, no exact. I gotta include this and gotta say that. I really just try to make it genuine. It's like, man, if my mom was here, man, I would show you around the house. I would show you, I would drive you around this city. Man, I've always been a talker, mama. Hopefully I can get paid for talking more. Actually, I'm a public speaker, so I do get paid for talking occasionally. But for this, you know, I tell stories and experiences. I try to make people smile. I try to make people think. I try to share, the love that was instilled in me into other people. Because, man, once again, everybody didn't, and I think you knew that everybody didn't have love. I can say no matter if we didn't have food in the kitchen, if we didn't have the water lights on, or something was going on, every day we said we loved each other. And occasionally when people say love don't pay the bills, love, man, some bills. Once again, let me edit that out too. We don't feel good together, what does it matter? But that's just some of the growth that I've experienced over the past 20 years since you've left us. You got to go to somewhere better. I'm thankful you're in somewhere better. I'm thankful you don't have to suffer any longer. I'm thankful you don't have to deal with lupus, deal with, you know, high blood pressure, deal with diabetes, deal with um I can't even think of the name of it right now. It look like you're bleaching your skin. Okay, I'm so mad I can't remember, but that once again, then playing. Seeing all these things my mama had to go through, you know, nothing I had control of at that time. some of the pain and experiences you just share with us. You know, the substance abuse. You know, me seeing you having seizures. These are things that it was very hard as a child to take on, and I look back and I'm like, wow, I did with some adults say they wouldn't even know what to do with didn't know what to do in these moments, but I did. And somehow, some way, but God, I was able to. And I appreciate you for instilling God and Jesus in my life more than anything else. You know, we have a church going family, and one thing you made sure, if you couldn't tell me it, you got somebody else to tell me about them. You know, and I'm thankful for that as well. But Mama, once again, I love you. I appreciate you. I miss you, and thank you for always looking over me. I appreciate that. We got a lot to do. I got a lot of work to do. I'm excited for thank you for joining me for season 4, episode 1. This is gonna be a little bit of emotional ride. We're gonna have some fun along the way with these different episodes, conversations, but I want to thank you for this one. I wish you could say hello to the audience and tell them about yourself and more and do the makings of Denise or the makings of Niecy. This is probably the longest I went calling your mama without calling you Niecy. So I'm proud of myself for that. But man, I know you'll be so much fun, and I probably have to mute some of the things you'll say out that take about the show. But that's how we do it. This is everything culture, and yeah, I'm so excited to have this. So all my folks that's hearing me, for the folks that's seeing me, thank y'all for bearing with me. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for allowing me to share a little bit about myself with you all. To all the mothers out there, all the mother figures, thank y'all and happy Mother's Day. Thank y'all every day. I know the work is not easy, but you do it because a lot of people would just give up. So thank you. Really appreciate what y'all doing in this world. If anybody didn't tell you that, I'm telling you that. Almost, our main thing is trying to give out our roses to our ones that are still here. So thank you. So I'm your host, Drake, or Mr. D713 with Everythang Culture. And remember, our mission statement comes in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and that is, he believed that men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other, and they don't know each other because of segregation. And because of segregation, we have miscommunication. So this podcast has been built on the pillars of respect, communication, and consistency, so we can get to know each other, so we can love one another. I want to say thank you all, and God bless. Peace.